Welcome to the SOMO Capital Auto Repair and Service Truck Series. We're here tonight from Eldora, and these guys out here putting down qualifying laps. We got a bunch of drivers sitting in the pits right now. Big race here tonight. Only 3 races left in the regular season, so it's really coming down to it. We have the points, which we will pull up here. Our chase standings. Seth Hatchel comes in as your points leader with 4 wins on the season, and then Lupe Gonzalez and Andrew Melvin are locked in with 2 wins apiece in second and third. Tyler Pluff, Shane Papala, Timothy Lewis, and Ryan Gemmel all have 1 win apiece, and then Jay Felton is the last one currently in the chase, 100 points above the cut line over Ron Hollifield and 120 over Mike Eames. It's still possible for those guys to make it in on points, but it's looking very unlikely as we only have 3 races left. So unless they get a win, it's going to be very difficult for them to get into the playoffs, but you never know what can happen. So it's really coming down to it. Seth Hatchel has the opportunity to lock his position as the #1 seed going into the playoffs with a win here tonight or next week. Or actually any of the next 3 races. If he wins, he locks himself in as the top position. Lupe Gonzalez and Andrew Melvin still have a shot at that position as regular season champion, but they're running out of time to do that. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now coming into this race. And tonight, like I mentioned, we're here at Eldora, 150 lap race. Stages are 45 and 90, so we will be doing stage racing here tonight, even on the short dirt track of Eldora. Let's see, I think Aaron Schaefer may be out on track. No, he's still sitting on pit road. We've only had 4 drivers take a qualifying time here tonight. Let's pull up our qualifying and see where they are at. Jason McConnell, currently the pole sitter with a 19.502. Pretty solid lap. Timothy Lewis with a 5.96 in second. Andrew Melvin and Ryan Gemmel also taking times. I do not believe anybody else took a time. Actually, it looks like Larry Holloway and Aaron Schaefer both did take times, but must have hit the wall because they didn't count. A lot of these drivers out here, their first time on the dirt, or only one of their first few times out on the dirt, and so it should be a pretty interesting race here tonight, and huge playoff implications. And it looks like we are gridding. Let's take a look at the grid. We've got some new camera views here tonight as well, so let's test some of those out as we get the race going here tonight. So on the pole, Jason McConnell with the 19.502. Congrats to Jason for taking that pole. And Timothy Lewis going to start on the outside row in second. Andrew Melvin going to start third. Ryan Gemmel fourth. Lupe Gonzalez fifth. Tanner Koster sixth. Seth Hatchel seventh. Tyler Pluff eighth. Mike Eames ninth. Aaron Schaefer in 10th, and Larry Holloway is going to round out the field here tonight in 11th. So pretty small field here. It's not a surprise. Not a lot of these guys are dirt racers, but a handful of them are, and they're trying to show off their skills here tonight. Something a little bit different in the truck series. And a lot of these guys trying to make a name for themselves. And with Jay Felton not being here, it could mix things up in the points. Let's take another quick look at the chase. Ron Hollifield and Mike Eames. Let's see. Mike Eames is not being shown on track. Maybe he's waiting to grid up. We've still got a few seconds here, I think. Ron Hollifield is not here tonight either. So those three at the bottom of the board there, not making an appearance here tonight. So that probably won't move around unless Mike Eames does take the grid. Does not look like he's going to at this time. So pretty big implications here. Let's take a quick look at the weather. 77-degree air temp and 77-degree track temp. I'm not exactly sure how the track will change over time. I believe it dries out a bit, and I'm not sure if under caution they re-wet it in the game or not. So we will just have to see. But a couple new camera views here tonight. We've got a new left front view and a left rear view to get a close view of some of the side-by-side action that we're going to see here tonight, as well as a roof cam. This one should be pretty good for viewing the drivers running around each other. And of course we've got our normal TV views. I think we've got all our connection issues fixed that we were having last week. And please let me know in the comments of the stream if you are experiencing any kind of stuttering or if the broadcast seems like it's having problems. Really appreciate your feedback there, and thank you so much for tuning in to SR Broadcasting. These guys, I think, are about to get underway. Pace truck is in. Jason McConnell going to be on the inside with Timothy Lewis to his outside. And off we go. Green flag is out. Oh, this is going to be weird for me to see these trucks just brake sideways a lot. But already the Ford truck of Timothy Lewis getting a big run on the outside. Going to try and ride the high line and make a pass on the 54. McConnell still holding strong, though. It's going to be close at the line, I believe. Timothy Lewis led that lap. So Timothy, after winning last week at Pocono, trying to carry out the momentum here. So you see Andrew Melvin get into the wall. He's bouncing off while still in the wall. And he's going to get passed up by a few drivers there. Meanwhile, Timothy Lewis really holding strong up high. And we hear some contact a little farther back. Tyler Pluff in the wall. Everybody's still keeping it straight for the moment. Pluff riding right along the wall. Timothy Lewis is pulled out to a half-second lead over Jason McConnell. Meanwhile, Lupe Gonzalez kind of under attack here from Andrew Melvin, who's collected himself after getting into the wall there, and he's fighting side by side with Seth Hatchel. Hatchel trying to work the inside line. It's hard to keep up the momentum down there, but easier to keep the truck a little bit straight. But Andrew Melvin going to whip on by on the high line. He's going to try and chase down Lupe Gonzalez. That battle's raging on for third place. Meanwhile, McConnell starting to move up the track, and it looks like he is gaining back on Timothy Lewis as Lewis tags the wall. Everybody's still straight. We're 6 laps in. Seems like there's a lot more grip out here than there was in practice or qualifying. The track has gotten cooler. Andrew Melvin really working the high line. He's put tons of pressure on Lupe Gonzalez. Let's take a look from the front. Let's see a peek to the inside here. Can't quite get the run off the turn, but Lupe Gonzalez feeling the pressure from the 88. As they work their way out of turn 2, Seth Hatchel starting to drop back from these drivers. Tanner Koster, Aaron Schaefer, Ryan Gemmel has moved up a couple positions. Looks like he's kept it out of the wall for the most part at this point in the race. Tyler Pluff is falling back. Larry Holloway, currently the last driver in the field, in 10th place. Oh, and he slams the wall going down into turn 1. He's going to lose a lot of time there. Let's see if we can see where the leaders are in relation to Larry. Timothy Lewis working his way out of turn 2 as Larry Holloway is going into turn 3, so we're going to catch up to some lap traffic here in a matter of time. Timothy Lewis has started to stretch his lead again, up to nearly a second in front of Jason McConnell. So Timothy really strong here as he gets very sideways out of the turn. Almost loses it, but hangs on, and here comes McConnell to the high line. Try and work that momentum. And nearly contact coming out of the turn. Timothy Lewis going to lead that lap, but McConnell is probably, actually McConnell leads the lap, and he takes the lead now. Lupe Gonzalez starting to reel these two in as they battle. See if Timothy Lewis can figure anything out here to catch back up to the 54, or if it's game over for this stage. He's the pole sitter back out front. He was the fastest in practice as well. But Timothy hanging strong right behind him, and everybody's moved up to that high line. Let's take a look back here. Aaron Schaefer running in 7th. Ryan Gemmel has fallen behind him, and not too far in front of Tyler Pluff, and they're about a half lap down right now. Looks like Lupe Gonzalez starting to reel in Timothy Lewis. Lupe finished 2nd in this race last year. One of only a handful of drivers to make an appearance in this race that also raced it last year. And Jason McConnell, Timothy Lewis are now catching up to Larry Holloway. Probably about another lap here before they get past him. Larry gonna go to the inside. McConnell getting pretty loose out of the turn. And Holloway getting sideways coming out of the turn, almost making contact with the 54, but able to keep it out of the way. Holloway going to be our first car a lap down. Tyler Pluff is next one in line, and he is about a straightaway ahead of the leaders. Currently 14.3 seconds back. Thought I heard some contact somewhere. Not sure if Larry Holloway got into the wall, but he's letting everybody by. Still green flag here, 18 laps into it. McConnell out front, stretching his legs a little bit now that he got by Timothy Lewis. Timothy does not have the pace. Here, Lupe Gonzalez smacked the wall there. It's right along with Lupe's roof cam. Not too far behind the leaders. Not close enough. Sparks fly off from Jason McConnell's truck, and you can see just up in front of him, Tyler Pluff struggling there coming out of turn 4. Slams the wall between turns 1 and 2, but McConnell closing it quickly. Tyler Pluff losing ground. Ryan Gemmel not too far in front of him. Has definitely lost some ground now, back to a 2.5 seconds from these drivers. Lupe Gonzalez trying to get the truck back underneath him there in turns 1 and 2. Andrew Melvin starting to close the gap to Lupe. Then looking back Andrew, if he gets the truck straightened out here. Seth Hatchel has shifted down to a lower line. And he's got some heavy right front damage, but it shouldn't affect him too bad here unless he's knocked the toe out of it. But he's switched to the low line. We don't see many other drivers doing that. As McConnell makes his way past Tyler Bluff, he's now chasing down Ryan Gemmel. Ryan making his first dirt start here in the truck series. Currently in 8th place. Let's see how close McConnell is. We'll see what Ryan can do if he can stay on the lead lap here. McConnell starting to close in, but Ryan's picked up his lap times here just a bit, really slinging it out of the turn, getting very sideways, and that's going to cost him the lap, I believe, as McConnell just goes flying by. As Ryan brushes the wall, here comes Timothy Lewis, going to try and get by the 6. Timothy has kept the truck very clean. Just a little bit of damage on that right rear. Lupe Gonzalez is working on Tyler Bluff right now. Lupe getting a little too sideways out of turn. So does Tyler. Tyler is overcorrecting. Able to hold on to the truck. And here comes Andrew Melvin. Going to the outside of the 12. You can see just how much momentum they get on that high line. You got to just throw the truck in there. Currently the fastest driver on track, Jason McConnell, as he works his way around Larry Holloway once again. Jason running actually Lupe, the fastest on track that time by top 5, all running very close in time, 30 laps into the run. We're really flying by. Race is really flying by. Jason McConnell really in control right now. If you look back, quite a gap, 3.4 seconds to Timothy Lewis, who's looking back at Lupe Gonzalez, who's under pressure, and we're under caution. I think it was Ryan Gemmel spinning out of turn 2, trying to get going here. Let's take a look at that. Ryan gets into the wall just a little bit there in turns 1 and 2, and really sideways in the center, gets in the throttle a little too hard, spins it out. And I don't even know if he made contact with the inside wall, but I think he's going to want some new tires and try and get some of that damage fixed. You can see he was struggling to even get the truck moving. But he gets it going. We'll see if anybody makes their way on a pit road. Ryan is at the tail end of 1 lap down, so he may stay out and try and get that wave around. No, he is going to come in and pit. He's going to go another lap down. Tyler Bluff also making his way in. I believe I saw Lupe Gonzalez on his way in. Looks like he's got a little right rear damage, but not too bad. But McConnell stays out. Timothy Lewis stays out. Tanner Coster, Seth Hatchel, and quite a few others. Looks like the pace truck lights are out. So we're going to be going green here very quickly. We'll see if anybody's still on pit road. Lupe Gonzalez just making his way out. That's going to cost him a lot of time if he can't get caught up. See the field up there about to take the green. McConnell gets the green flag, and here he goes. Off to the races. And Timothy Lewis has another shot at taking the lead again, but can't get the run. So we've got only 10 to go in the stage. Here comes the 71 of Tanner Coster. Working the high line as McConnell gets into the wall. Timothy Lewis trying to make the inside work. Can't get the run out of the turn. Pretty significant battle here at the front. Looks like Timothy Lewis really struggling to put the power down. Tanner Coster, a newcomer here towards the front, and looks like he's got some pretty good speed, running nearly as fast as the leader. Seth Hatchel also with a pretty solid lap there. He's made his way up into 4th place after a couple drivers pitted. And we are at 7 to go to the end of the stage. McConnell still your leader, but under pressure. Tanner Coster, who we didn't expect to see up here, but Tanner gets into the wall just a little bit. See if he can hang on to it here and try and chase down the 54. He's only a few tenths behind him. Really slinging it into the turn. Making heavy contact with the right side. Hits it again, but yeah, that's going to cost him some time. That impact, he's just bouncing it off the wall. And he started to lose some time now to McConnell, who's really started to stretch his legs, but he's about to pass Lupe Gonzalez here. So Lupe, if he's not careful, will go a lap down. Only 5 laps to go in the stage. Lupe was running up in 3rd or 4th place before the caution and his decision to pit. He's really sideways coming out of the turn. Trying to hold on to it. Ryan Gemmel's around in front of the field. A little bit of contact there. That's probably going to do it for stage number 1. Gemmel goes another lap down. Currently scored in 10th place. You can see him struggling for grip to even get that truck moving again. He's got some heavy right side damage. Let's go take a look and see what happened. So Ryan just working his way into turn 1 here. Really sideways. He gets into the throttle a little too early once again, just loops it. And right in front of the leaders, McConnell able to avoid. Timothy Lewis tags him just a bit. Everybody else able to get by. But Ryan was trying to stay only 2 laps down, and now he falls 3 laps down. And it looks like we've got Lupe Gonzalez and Tyler Pluff a lap down. Though it looks like Lupe might be getting the wave around or the lucky dog. I'm not exactly sure. Lupe just working his way off pit road. We'll see if anybody else decided to come in. Looks like everybody else staying out. Ryan Gemmel has parked it, I believe. Larry Holloway, Tyler Pluff also on pit road. This guy's trying to either get some damage fixed or just take a little break here. But they won't have too long because the field's doubling up. They're going to have to find their way off pit road pretty soon here. Pace truck bringing them into turn 3. I believe that was the end of the stage, so we should actually have gone through the stage results. I didn't get them in time. McConnell won the stage, and he's going to take the lead here once again. Tanner Coster now up into 2nd. Seth Hatchel in 3rd. Timothy Lewis in 4th. Aaron Schaefer moves up into 5th on the outside of Andrew Melvin. And Andrew Melvin trying to stay off of him. Thought I heard some contact there, but you can see the battling going on. And we do have somebody around. May have been the end of the stage. So, if that is the end of the stage, we're going to take a look at the stage results now. I didn't see anybody go around or crash or anything. McConnell going to be your stage winner. Tanner Coster 2nd. Seth Hatchel 3rd. Timothy Lewis 4th. Andrew Melvin 5th. Aaron Schaefer 6th. Lupe Gonzalez 7th. Tyler Pluff 8th. Larry Holloway 9th. And Ryan Gemmel going to be last stage point. So everybody here getting stage points because we only have 10 drivers in the field. So congrats to Jason on getting that playoff point. I don't think he is eligible for the chase, but he's looking like the favorite to win here tonight, so we'll have to check out the standings and see if he has enough participation. Just took a look at the points. Jason McConnell comes into this race in 11th in points. He does have plenty of starts. He's started 13 out of the 14 races, and he's currently a ways back from Jay Felton points-wise, almost 200 points. And if he wins here, that'll put him in position to make the chase. Jay Felton would be knocked out, and it would be tough sledding for him and the other two drivers. That being said, if Jay wins a race, he would be a shoo-in because he is currently 3rd overall in points, just doesn't have any wins. Jason McConnell still leading this race. Tanner Coster found his way into 2nd, and we're side by side for 3rd. Timothy Lewis battling with Andrew Melvin. And side by side, there you go. Seth Hatchel, let's take a look at his nose cam to see this battle in front of him. 88 works to the inside now. Timothy Lewis still down there. Seth bouncing off the wall just a little bit. Getting a good run here. Going to try and work to the outside of the 4, and he does. Able to keep up the momentum. You can hear him working the throttle inside that truck. And the wheel as he catches the wall just a bit, but great run to the outside of Andrew Melvin, who slips down to the inside line. And he takes the spot back from Hatchel. So Hatchel did not get a good run there in 3 and 4. And trying to get to the outside of the 88, can't do it. Here comes Timothy Lewis back again on the inside. See if he pulls a slide job here. Seth can't get the power down coming out of turn 4. Timothy Lewis trying to get back up into the high line, but nowhere to go. So Aaron Schaefer also battling next to Lupe Gonzalez. Lupe the only driver 1 lap down. And Larry Holloway and Tyler Pluff, both 3 laps down. Tyler sitting on pit road. Maybe going to call it a night here. So Tyler out of this one. Jason McConnell is your leader, and he's under pressure now from the 71 of Tanner Coster. You see Tanner working the wheel inside that truck. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's race. We're here at Eldora for 150 laps, currently 58 laps into it. Jason McConnell has led the majority, but Timothy Lewis did have a spot at the front for quite a while at the beginning of this race. Tanner Coster running a pretty solid race here tonight. Let's take a look at where he started. Started back in 6th, and he was kind of mired back there in 6th or 7th for a while. But after caution shook things up, he found his way up into 2nd, and he's been able to somewhat keep pace with the number 54 of McConnell, who's pretty much led the way here. Andrew Melvin started 3rd, currently running 3rd. Timothy Lewis started 2nd and led 10 laps, currently running in 4th. Hatchel started 7th, currently in the top 5. Aaron Schaefer started 10th and up to 6th. Lupe Gonzalez started 5th, and he's dropped a lap down right now in 7th. Larry Holloway 3 laps down in 8th. And Tyler Pluff is out of this one. Still sitting on pit road, though. But this is the man leading the way right now. Tanner Koster not far behind and trying to do everything he can. He's actually closed the gap quite a bit. Let's take a look from the rear. 71 right there now. You can see him working the wheel inside that number 71. Somebody went around, not sure what happened. Aaron Schaefer on pit road. We're under caution, lap 63. Don't see anybody else possibly going around there. Let's see what happens. Let's go and find it. I'm not sure what happened. Still trying to find it here. With Larry Holloway, I think he had already spun, possibly. Not sure. Might have been somebody just going around a little bit too sideways. Lupe Gonzalez made a mistake. Oh, there it is. The 42 of Aaron Schaefer right at the entrance of pit road. Bounced off the wall in 3 and 4 and just kind of looped it. Nails the barrels there at the end of pit lane. And just continues on his way into pit road with heavy right side damage. Nobody making their way onto pit road this time, and I think they know that it is a short caution break each time. You don't want to go a lap down. Let's take a look at our race summary. We've had 2 lead changes. Jason McConnell's pretty much led the way. Tanner Koster just led a lap. I think that was just a mistake. Maybe Jason let off too much. We're back green again. McConnell gets a great jump. Koster not so much. And Timothy Lewis going to try and take advantage on the high side. We'll see if Timothy's found any speed once again. 71 really. You can see him working the wheel in there, struggling with that truck. Andrew Melvin making a move to the inside, trying to take over second spot. Can't get the run out of the turn. He's going to have to try it one more time down in this end of the track. Timothy Lewis really sideways and losing a lot of momentum on the exit, but 71 can't take advantage, and McConnell is sneaking away once again. Andrew Melvin going to try and pull a move here coming out of turn 4. Can't get in line. The 71's all over the 4. But Andrew Melvin with a big run there, able to get up into second. See what Timothy Lewis is able to do. He swings it to the inside, and we're 3 wide. 3 wide again as Lupe Gonzalez, who's still 1 lap down. Not sure if they have lucky dogs on or not. Lupe is still a lap down. Trying to work his way past these guys and get his lap back the hard way. Aaron Schaefer and Larry Holloway racing it up back here. It's Andrew Melvin able to secure second place and get away from Timothy Lewis. 71 still bouncing off the wall. Oh, heavy contact with the right front, and that might hurt his steering if he's not careful. See a bunch of drivers smacking the wall there. Gonzalez not making any progress on the inside, so he's going to have trouble getting back on the lead lap. I think he's maybe going to have to pull some strategy. We have 18 to go here in this stage. As Timothy Lewis back to the inside of the 88, and these drivers about 2 seconds back from leader Jason McConnell. Timothy with a good run on the inside, getting the power down though. Not quite, but the 88's in the wall, and that's going to open up the lane for the 4. We'll see if Timothy tries to slide up the track and get back in the high line. Doing a pretty good job around the middle line of the track. Andrew Melvin starting to fall back. He's in third place as Seth Hatchel bounces it off the wall. Tanner Coster's really beat up the right side of that truck. Oh, Timothy Lewis getting very, very loose there in the middle of the turn. And he's going to drop 2 spots. Andrew Melvin back into second. And Coster picking up the pace once again. Getting right to the bumper of the 88. McConnell 2.3 seconds out in front. You can see how smooth he is. He just throws it into the turn, easy on the throttle, and just riding that groove perfectly. Able to straighten the truck out. Does the same thing on this end. Not touching the wall or anything like that. So he's obviously very happy with how the truck's handling. Everybody else smacking it off the wall here tonight. It's never over till it's over, and anything can happen. We may be down to 9 drivers, or 8 drivers. But that's 8 drivers who have the opportunity to win this thing. And then Andrew Melvin under fire once again. Timothy Lewis. Timothy trying to find his way back up into that runner-up spot. As we're coming close to 10 to go to the end of the stage. The 4 throws it in really deep there in turns 3 and 4. Able to put the power down and hold on to the momentum of the 88 with the run on the outside. I think the 4 is going to be able to clear him here if he can put the power down, but he's real sideways. Here comes the 88. A little bit of contact between those two. Andrew really struggling with keeping that truck pointed in the right direction. Timothy pulls the slide job, able to slide into second. So we got side-by-side battling between Hatchel and Tanner Coster. Hey there, Jesse. Thanks for tuning into the stream. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please give a like or a thumbs up, or subscribe. As we see Larry Holloway around, I think he may have blown the engine on that truck as well. No, he's still rolling. He was around there in front of the leaders. Let's take a look. Looks like he was racing side by side with the 42 as the leader was starting to catch up to those guys. A little bit of contact out of the turn, and the 42 head on into the wall. Oh, and McConnell gets heavy contact. Oh, we missed that. So heavy contact for the 54, just nowhere to go. Let's take a look from inside during that incident. Oh, I was on the wrong truck. Going through turns 1 and 2. He's coming up on the lap trucks. 70 just slams into the 42, and then McConnell nowhere to go. Runs right into Schaefer. And that's going to give Timothy Lewis the lead once again. See if McConnell, he's on pit road. He's going to have to get moving as the trucks are working their way through 3 and 4. So a huge turn of events. It's Hatchel making his way off pit road. And is McConnell gonna... Looks like 54 is gonna go a lap down. So we are down to 4 trucks on the lead lap. Hatchel being the last of them. Lupe Gonzalez now up in 5th place. And Jason McConnell, who's led the most laps here tonight and was looking like he was on his way to a victory, gets caught up with a couple of lap trucks. So unfortunate for Jason. It looked like he may have been able to find his way into the chase. Lewis gets a good start. Andrew Melvin not able to get going and struggling to put the power down as McConnell making his way back on track, but he's 2 laps down. We'll see what he's able to do if he can work his way back onto the lead lap. We have 65 to go. He has been the class of the field here tonight, so it's never over until it's over. Timothy Lewis, though, is taking over at the front. And Andrew Melvin Up into second, Tanner Coster in third. Seth Hatchel is in fourth as he makes contact with the 70. Able to hold on to it, no caution, but that's going to be some damage on the right front of the number 8. Let's take a look. Yeah, he had some there already, so I think he's probably okay. But it looked like pretty heavy contact. And Lupe Gonzalez in fifth, 1 lap down, and I guess we are not running lucky dogs here because Lupe has been 1 lap down, just not been able to get back on the lead lap. As we see the 71 of Coster all over the bumper of the 88, and there's contact. And Melvin is around Seth Hatchel doing his best to avoid it. He does. I think there was contact with Lupe Gonzalez though. And Larry Holloway also around at the bottom of turn 2 or turn 4. So let's go take a look and see what happened with Melvin and Tanner Coster. I think it was just a little bit of bumper action. Taking a look with the 88 here. See the 71 starting to close in on him. And then Andrew's really sideways 71 able to keep the speed up there. And just a little bit of contact, I think, on the rear bumper. Let's go take another look though. Coming out of turn 4 here. Tanner. Oh yeah, just a little tag sent around Andrew Melvin, and then Lupe Gonzalez gets a little touch on the right front. And that's going to bring out our 6th caution here, 90 laps into this. I think the second stage is over. Let's actually take a look at our stage results. Timothy Lewis going to win stage 2, get a valuable playoff point. Tanner Coster going to finish the stage in second after getting into the 88. Andrew Melvin third, Seth Hatchel fourth, Lupe Gonzalez in fifth, Jason McConnell in sixth, Larry Holloway seventh, Aaron Schaefer eighth, Tyler Pluff ninth, and Ryan Gemmel still in 10th. Still getting a stage point, so everybody getting some stage points just for coming out tonight. Timothy Lewis is your leader. Jason McConnell back on pit road. We'll see if he tries leaving it here. Larry Holloway making his way off pit road. Here comes Jason. Going to try and catch up with the field as they're going double wide. And I have a feeling that Jason could maybe work his way past the leaders and at least get another lap back. He's going to have to catch up to the field here as they are working through turns 3 and 4. McConnell just working out of turn 2, trying to catch up, but pace truck is in. Timothy Lewis is going to be the one to get him going. Gets on the throttle. Coster able to get a better start than Andrew Melvin was last time, but not a great start, not able to keep up with the 4, but Timothy Lewis almost going around. And we got huge contact between the 4 and the 88. Oh, and wow, that was a bit of a mess. Timothy Lewis gonna have engine trouble here after that incident. Let's go back and take a look. We had all kinds of stuff going on. Timothy just got loose. Looks like he got a little too far around and made huge contact with the 4. 70 comes by and tags him in the right front, and I think that was the hit that blew the engine. We also saw contact between the 8 and the 71. Looks like 71 tried to pull up in front of Seth. Seth had a big run, and so they kind of caught each other in a bad spot, but able to avoid the 4. Timothy Lewis has taken it down pit road. He's currently in 5th, 1 lap down. Lupe Gonzalez still out there. He's in 4th, and the top 3 are the only ones on the lead lap. And fuel is potentially an issue, according to Tyler. Thank you for that input. Not sure what the range is on these trucks, but we got 50 some odd laps to go. Looks like 55 to go. We've had quite a bit of action here. As the leaders all doubled up again. Jason McConnell still on pit road. Not sure. It looks like pace truck's coming in. McConnell is back up into the top 5, but it looks like he's not coming back out on the track. Tanner Coster inherits the lead, and Andrew Melvin going to be right behind him. Seth Hatchel also with a shot to win this thing. Here comes McConnell. He's going to try and run in front of the leaders. It looks like he's got more damage on that truck than he did before. See what kind of speed he's able to have in that truck. He actually ran faster than any of the leaders that time by. See what he can do here. Tanner Coster bouncing it off the wall. Andrew Melvin bouncing off the wall. The top 3 all near each other. We'll see if Hatchel can take the win here tonight. That would lock him in as the #1 seed into the playoffs. Andrew Melvin, though, trying to challenge that and make himself the #1 seed into the playoffs. He's got a couple wins here this year and in a pretty good spot here late in the race. Tanner Coster, though, trying to be a spoiler and not let any of these potential playoff drivers take a win, as he is currently leading the way. Half a second up the road from Andrew Melvin, who gets real loose coming out of turn 2, but the 71 slams the wall in 3 and 4, and we're at 50 to go now. Jason McConnell out in front of all these drivers, and he is a little bit down on speed, it looks like, and he's running the inside line, which is a little unusual. We haven't seen him run down there. We'll see what kind of a lap time he puts down here. 19.74, so Hatchel was the fastest on track, but not by much. McConnell's second fastest as Coster slams the wall. Andrew Melvin moving to the inside line. I don't think any of these drivers have changed tires except for Hatchel. Gonzalez still in 4th, 1 lap down. McConnell needs to do everything he can here to get back on the lead lap. He has a shot to win this thing. Actually the fastest driver on track. Still, even with all that damage. And running the low line. Tanner Coster bouncing it off the wall still. It's amazing the right front hasn't fallen off that thing, but he's still got it going, and he's still running decent lap times. He ran a great lap at 19.5 that last time by, 3/10 faster than anybody else. But McConnell's starting to pull away from the lead lap drivers, and he's just not in a good spot now to try and get a lap back. He's too far behind all of them. It looks like top 2 kind of separated themselves. It's Tanner Coster and Andrew Melvin. Tanner is using the wall to stabilize the right rear of that truck. And every now and then Tanner clicks off a great lap, and then he'll slam the wall and lose all that time he gained. And I don't think Andrew Melvin's quite as fast as Tanner, but he's been more consistent. Actually ran a little bit faster that time by. Seth bouncing off the wall there, gets the right side of the truck actually off the ground. All kinds of stuff going on. Tanner Coster starting to stretch the gap now, though. As long as he doesn't make any big mistakes as he slams the wall with the right front there. He's doing a good job on the exited turn, able to keep the momentum up on the straightaways too, and I think that's what some of these other drivers struggling with here tonight. McConnell, let's take a look back from him and see how far he's pulled away from the leaders as he works his way around Larry Holloway. He's actually pulled quite a distance over Tanner Coster. Tanner working really high. Andrew working a little lower on the track now. I wonder if there's more grip since there hasn't been a lot of action down on that side of the track. He's getting a good run. Starting to close the gap back up. Maybe he's learning from the 54 up there that there's some grip down there. As he's closed right up to the back of the 71 is Coster bouncing off the wall. Still riding on the wall. They're working up behind Larry Holloway, who is currently 9 laps down, but in 6th spot. Now 10 laps down. Andrew Melvin trying to work to the outside of the 70 here. I think the 70 just trying to keep it out of the way at this point. But Andrew having a hard time getting by, and he's lost a lot of ground to the 71. Holloway finally lets him go. That's Tanner Coster now into a 1-second lead, but bounces hard off the wall. Trying to get that truck straightened out. I would not be surprised if he hits the back end hard enough one of these times to knock the rear end out of alignment. Still seems like everything's straight on the truck. It doesn't have any steering damage or anything. Starting to get a little bit more consistent now. He's got his times at a pretty good point, a little bit faster than Andrew Melvin that time by. Seth Hatchel also running about the same time. And Jason McConnell has pulled away from all of these drivers, but 2 laps down, like I mentioned earlier. Coster leading the way up to 1.4 seconds ahead of Andrew Melvin. Let's see what that gap looks like. Oh, 71 hits the wall hard, still bouncing off the wall. You can see he's figured something out in the number 71. He's not bouncing off the wall quite as much. Getting close to it. Maybe it's because he's thinned that truck out by about a foot by hitting the wall so much. But he's staying off the wall and running really fast times. Andrew Melvin starting to lose him. And Seth Hatchel still back here struggling a bit with the truck here tonight. Doing a pretty solid job. You know, he's the points leader coming in. Not going to lose any points really to anyone. Currently running in the top 3 as well. So it's a race of attrition, and he's survived it so far. Coster bouncing off the wall big time there in turns 1 and 2. It's going to cost him a bit of time. Oh, he smacked it really hard. Andrew Melvin not able to take advantage. Yeah, it looks like Tanner's found a couple more tenths of a second in that truck, although that lap not a great one, and Andrew actually running 3/10 faster. And it's probably possible to overheat the tires a bit if you're running too hard. Coming to about 25 to go. Gap's still around 2 seconds. 2.2 seconds now between these drivers. But that can change in a couple laps if you see too many mistakes here. Oh, and Andrew Melvin, I think, blown engine. Yeah, blown engine. Going down the backstretch, so a second place effort gonna end in smoke for the number 88. Hatchel's going to take over second spot. 5 seconds back, and we've only got 2 drivers on the lead lap now. And Hatchel about a quarter of a lap behind. Tanner Coster, as long as he doesn't make too many big mistakes, pretty good position to take the win here. And once again, it's not over till it's over. He's got some lap traffic to work by. Jason McConnell moves up into 4th place, and Larry Holloway, I think, is going to be able to take over a top 5 position just by running it out, because Andrew Melvin with the blown engine. A bit of a struggle here for a few of these drivers tonight, but Tanner Coster has survived, and he's looking like he's on his way to a win. Seth Hatchel can really figure something out quick here. He's running about 2 or 3 tenths a lap slower than Tanner. Felipe Gonzalez still out here. Try and get a top 3 spot if he can. He's just got to run it out, although he gets really sideways. So we put the camera on him. I think he's just trying to have some fun now. Looks like it's going to be tough to get back on the lead lap. Tanner bouncing off the wall once again. Not really losing a whole lot of time to Seth. We're at 20 laps to go. And we'll keep an eye on the race, but just want to run a quick reminder that tonight's race is brought to you by Capital Auto Repair and Service, located in Raleigh, North Carolina. They are your one-stop full-service auto repair center. Some of the best, most knowledgeable mechanics in the area. Reasonable prices, very skilled and honest. So give those guys a call if you're in the Raleigh, North Carolina area and you need some work done on your car. A few of these drivers are going to have to take their trucks to Capital Auto to get looked at. Got some heavy suspension damage and body damage. Hopefully they do body work there. Seth Hatchel almost riding up the wall there. He's just trying to finish this one out and get a top 2. Felipe Gonzalez in 3rd, and McConnell up here in 4th. Still just 2 laps down. And he's started to pick up the pace once again. Take a look back at his bumper, and we'll see where the leader's at behind him. So it's looking like it's impossible at this point. Very unlikely for McConnell to get back on the lead lap. We'd have to see 2 quick cautions, and I don't think there's enough trucks out here to do that. Only 5 drivers on track. Hatchel's still about 6 seconds back from Tanner Coster. But one mistake could cost Tanner, so probably back off a little bit and just try and run smooth. He's got 13 to go and a 6-second gap. He can lose half a second a lap, and Seth still can't catch him. Showing why he's your championship leader. Just another solid run, even though it's not going to be a win most likely. A top 2 finish. I think this will be like his 6th or 7th of the year, finishing in the top 2, at least that many in all the races that we've had this year. So can't be too disappointed with that. Obviously didn't have the speed to win, but he's running about as fast as Tanner right now. It's just too late in the run. And Lupe still running in 3rd, 1 lap down, no issues there with the engine or anything like that. And McConnell still running out there as well, just passing up Larry Holloway. And it would have been interesting to see if Jason had stayed on the lead lap, if he would have been able to win this race. I'm not sure if he had, actually, Tyler's saying they may not have enough fuel. Yeah, I'm wondering if Jason had required repairs, and that's why he came in and went those 2 laps down. I think if he had just tried to stay out there on the lead lap, we might see him leading right now. We're 8 laps to go. We'll see if these drivers have enough fuel. Tanner Coster has been out there 144 laps, so he has not even pitted this race. Hatchel has been out there 54, Lupe 53, and Jason McConnell 48. No doubt in my mind those guys can make it. But Tanner Coster, see if he has enough. And if he doesn't, it's going to play right into Seth Hatchel's hands. He's actually gained a 2nd on Tanner. Not sure if Tanner is saving somehow. Let's go inside and take a listen. It's hard for me to tell. I can't take a look at his fuel pressure either. You can hear him just barely touching the throttle at all, though. He's only got 5 to go. Oh, and Aaron saying that drivers weren't able to take fuel. See if these guys can make it. I don't know how you save fuel on a dirt track like this without losing tons of time. Hatchel is starting to close the gap, coming to 2 to go, and he's 4 seconds back, 4.5 seconds. They just need 2 laps of fuel. Can't tell if that's sputtering from the 71. Sound like he's using much throttle. We're coming to the white flag. We'll see if Tanner can make it around. If he can, even to like turns 3 and 4, he probably has this one sealed up. Tanner Coster coming across the line. White flag is out. Seth Hatchel back in 2nd, now 4 seconds back. Can Tanner make it? He's coming out at turns 3 and 4. Tanner Coster's gonna hold on and take the win here tonight at Eldora. Seth Hatchel gonna come home in 2nd, about 4 seconds back from Tanner. Lupe Gonzalez 1 lap down. Now working his way across the line. In 3rd place, Jason McConnell comes behind him in 4th place. And looked like he was gonna be the victor here tonight, but fate had other plans. And Tanner Coster is your winner here tonight. We're going to go cut to a quick commercial, and we'll come back with our interviews. All right, and we are back. We're not going to be able to interview our third place finisher, Lupe Gonzalez. So we're going to bring in second place finisher, Seth Hatchel. Seth, this is Adam in the SR booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Seth. Well, it wasn't a win. You did start closing in on Tanner there at the end, but you come away with a second place finish after a pretty long event here. How was the truck for you tonight?
Really loose. I know why they don't run slicks on dirt cars, because, I mean, it would just slide and slide and slide. You couldn't do anything for it to grip up. Even the, really powerful late models, whatever they run here, they run the treaded tires, and you can still get them to grip up off the corner. And these things, you never feel it bite. It was just terrible. But pretty happy with the result. In the end, Tanner had a good run there, so congrats to him. I think I figured out a little bit of something there at the end, but it was a little too late, and I don't know if I was going to get by him. But all in all, a good finish.
Yeah, it looked like a race of attrition. We saw a couple of the leaders get taken out. Did you think you'd be able to end up with the top two finish here?
I was pretty content with the top five, and then people started dropping there. I think it was around the second stage, and then unfortunately, Andrew, I think, from what I could tell, I think he blew a motor. Thankfully, I saw it in time, and I put it in fourth and rode around fourth for the rest of the race, but unfortunate for that. But yeah, I would have been all right with the top five, but I'll definitely take second.
Yeah, definitely a solid run, and you were able to survive all 150 laps and run it out to the end. Um, we did hear from some of the viewers that fuel was pretty tight. Were you pretty close on fuel at the end there?
It ended up not being too bad, but I think if it weren't for the cautions and the stage cautions, we were probably going to be about 5 or 10 laps short. But we had enough cautions, and I think even the stage cautions alone helped us save enough fuel. I didn't really check the end. I was probably 10 laps so good there at the
Okay.
end.
Okay. Yeah, we were wondering because I was riding on board with the 71, and at times it sounded like he was sputtering, but I think it was just he had to be off throttle for so long that he was just barely blipping it when he had to. But yeah, we were concerned about that, but it ended up, I guess, not being an issue. Um, and you come in as the points leader, and you're probably going to extend the points lead after finishing in front of all the other potential playoff drivers. And I believe you seal the deal as the number one seed going into the playoffs. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's definitely the best place to be heading into the playoffs. But with the elimination style, I got to make sure I run well in the playoffs. So got to do some practice and make sure I stay up front.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be unfamiliar sight to see in victory lane here in the next handful of weeks, and hopefully in the playoffs as well. But another strong run here tonight. Sets the stage, for a good start to the playoffs at least. And next week we go to Michigan. Obviously, completely different than this track, but not so different from where we were, a couple weeks ago. So, what are your thoughts on going out there?
It'll be interesting because I imagine we're running the repave, so it's going to be really smooth, and we'll be going pretty quick. And the draft's probably going to have make a big difference on these cars. So it may be more of a restrictor plate type race, but I'm sure I can get it to be pretty fast when I get out there.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you out there. And once again, congratulations on second place. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank you for doing a great job, Adam. I got to thank all the sponsors of this league, especially Capital Auto for jumping on board for the truck series. Paul, all the admins that do a great job, all the drivers, and my team MB Motorsports.
Awesome, Seth. Well, congrats once again. Um, and keep it up. We'll catch up with you next time.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that was second place finisher Seth Hatchel, our points leader, and pretty much seals the deal to be the top seed in the chase, assuming he at least starts the next couple races. Um, so in a pretty good spot there for the playoffs. But right now we're going to bring up our winner here tonight, Tanner Coster. This is Adam in the SR booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Tanner, we haven't seen you out here too many times this season, but after a pretty serious race of attrition here, you come out the victor. So, how are you feeling about tonight's race?
I mean, pretty good. You can never be too upset with a win. I wasn't really sure I was going to run, and it kind of was just a last minute decision. I've had a lot of things going on Wednesday nights, and just showed up. And like you said, it was attrition. There was relatively small field with only 11 cars, and I just tried to keep the right side on it as much as I could. And then, towards the end, there was only a couple of us left, and it worked out.
It is pretty amazing that there was any right side left on that truck. I don't know how many times you hit the wall, but it never seemed to slow you down. And you were pretty fast. I think you were the main challenger for Jason out there, who really had the field kind of under control, and you were the closest competitor. So did you think you would have anything for him there as we were getting closer to the end of the race?
I did. I thought, for sure it was going to be a good race. I was really disappointed to see. I think he got caught up in one of those accidents or something, and I was really disappointed. I was looking forward to running with him. I know he'd pull away, and then I'd catch back up, and it was just kind of who hit the wall harder, and it, made the most of their each lap. But I think I was going to have a good shot at it. I was definitely felt like I was right there with him. So
Yeah, well, you definitely had the pace at the end, and Seth and Andrew couldn't keep up with you, at least after about 15 or 20 laps, and you started to stretch the lead. So you definitely are deserving of the win tonight. You started sixth with 59 laps led, so it's not like you didn't dominate. You led almost half the race, um, so definitely a great run for you.
yeah, it was those last 50 laps felt like they took forever, and especially with the fuel was relatively close. I think I only had five laps of fuel left at the end, so the last 30 or 40 laps, I was really just easing it around the corner, trying not to hit the wall and save a little fuel. So
Yeah, I noticed there was definitely a change in driving style as we got closer to the end because Andrew was fairly close to you, and then I think once he blew his engine, that's when you started to drive a little bit smoother, and I didn't see you bouncing off the wall quite as much, and you were putting down some great lap times. So that little change and saving fuel also meant faster lap times, at least from what I could see. So it was a good change for sure. Um, Next week we're going to Michigan. Do you think you're going to be able to make that race?
if nothing comes up, I'll probably hop in here and race. It's always a fun race with a lot of fun guys, and a good bit of challenge. There's always a lot of fast guys up here too. So if I've got nothing going on, I'll always be happy to come back and race with you guys.
Awesome, Tanner. Well, once again, congrats on the win. Really great run for you overall. And you started sixth, led 59 laps, and take the win here. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'd like to give a shout out to my fiance Allison, my mom, my dad, uh, buddy Michael, who I think caught the end of the race. Everybody who puts the league on, everybody for racing, you guys for broadcasting. So
Awesome, Tanner. Once again, congrats. Great run here tonight, and go celebrate. We'll catch up with you later.
sounds good. Thank you.
All right, and that was our winner here tonight, Tanner Coster. Once again, surviving tonight's race, 150 laps here at Eldora. He leads 59 of them. I think pretty much the last stage basically the whole last stage after Timothy Lewis got into a little bit of trouble there up at the front of the field. But he had the pace and he had the patience too at the very end to be able to save fuel and run some pretty solid lap times. So congrats to Tanner. Let's run through our results really quickly here, and then we'll get out of here. So finishing first, Tanner Coster. Right behind him, Seth Hatchel with another solid run and pretty much sealing up a top seed in the playoffs. Lupe Gonzalez comes home with a podium finish as well, and Jason McConnell, who looked like he had this race pretty much sewn up at the halfway point, is going to be relegated to fourth place finish, and he's going to have an uphill battle to try and make it into the playoffs. Larry Holloway comes home with a top five. Andrew Melvin, blowing his engine late, comes home sixth. Timothy Lewis, seventh. Aaron Schaefer, eighth. Tyler Pluff, ninth. And Ryan Gemmel finishes 10th. Mike Eames did not start the race, so Ryan Gemmel was last on the field, but still earning a top 10. So good enough run there to go on the top 10 category in the stat sheet. That's going to be tonight's race here. Once again, presented by Capital Auto Repair and Service. I want to thank you all for tuning in to SR Broadcasting for this event. We've got another race in the league here coming up next week at Michigan. And then we've got one more after that before the playoffs. And so it's really closing in quickly. And we'll have everything calculated and back up here for you by next week to go through the point standings. We've got a couple other races here on SR Broadcasting, including Paskey's races and also the Die Hard Racing League on Sunday nights. So keep an eye out for those broadcasts and tune in if you like. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast as well, please like and subscribe, comment, and like our Facebook page and all of that. We'd really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot, and we always like to increase league awareness and try and get as many broadcasts on here as possible. And you guys tuning in and watching definitely helps us out a lot. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, have a good night.